and welcome to another session, Money Hubbers, where we empower and connect with and build community with Africa's next millionaires and billionaires right here. I'm your host, Zipporah Dankwa, and today I am continuing this wonderful journey that we've began, the entrepreneurial journey, and we are, yet again serving you with another incredible entrepreneur on the journey to world-class success. You know what we're talking about, right? We only bring you the best, and today we are going to be talking about the drive to TSG Drive Heights. We have in the studio with us the CEO of TSG Drive and Chartered Logistics, then transport professional. He also leads strategic growth and innovation at the TSG Drive. We have Michael Osei Sarfo in the house. Help me welcome him. Woo! Thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Thank you so much, Zipporah.
I have to warn you.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that I like throwing people in the deep end of the pool, okay? So I am going to start you off on the deep side. Before we even get to know about you now, I'm just going to throw us back to your childhood.
Okay.
Let's start with your growing up.
Okay.
What experiences shaped the way that you think about work, and what led you on this journey that you're on right now?
Right. Thank you very much, Zipporah. You took us way back.
I'm telling you.
But yeah, it's a good one. Thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to your listeners. I'm very excited to be here and for the opportunity. So my name is Michael Osei. Grew up in Accra, Kumasi, and grew up around a very, how do I say, typical Ashanti man, my dad. And the conditions at home, you had to learn to get things done.
Yeah.
So there was no excuses, or, we were not shielded from, getting our hands dirty and getting things done. So even before the handyman comes to the house, we would have tried it a couple of times to see if you're going to be able to do it. So we only called, the handyman was only called in when we couldn't succeed. So that became, the first thing, that whatever situation you find yourself in, you try to find a solution to it first. And then, you try calling, the guys when you're having some difficulty.
Yes.
So those are the, circumstances under which I grew up. Also grew up around a very, religious, Christian mom. So our upbringing had a lot of, faith-based, understanding of how the world works, and that really shaped, my personality and how far we've come.
Right now you are talking about get things done yourself as much as possible.
Right.
And the faith-based part of this equation of your upbringing. How did that shape your mindset once you know what? I'm even going too far. How did that shape you, even going into school, thinking about what to study and what you even wanted to become?
Okay, I mean, that training about getting things done may build the ethos of you are capable. Yes, you were created in the image of God. Yes, you were a Christian. Yes, you're going to pray.
Yes,
but you were created with a brain. So, faith, prayer doesn't take away the works. I think it's in the Bible.
Why do we think it's separate? No. Why are we saying it like one or the other?
Right.
It goes together.
Absolutely. So you need to have the faith, but you need to put in the work.
Yes.
I mean, and those were the foundations under which, we grew up. So you can pray, you can, fast if you want to, do all the religious, things that are required, but you need to work. And when the work comes in, you're not going to be, giving any excuses that, I can't do it. You said you can do all through Christ who strengthens you. So what are you talking about? You have to get things done. And for me, that understanding of, your ability and having the, because the one who's come to do the work just learned it.
Yes.
Practiced it. Yeah. What is wrong with your hands? My dad will actually, if the guy is coming to dig, why are you not able to dig? Or he's weeding, why are you not weeding? So that understanding, put us in a position where you believe that any position you find yourself in, you can be able to do that. And that, transcended into school, even at the workplace where, there are things that I did, studying, when I was in the university, I studied something completely different.
Yes.
And when I started working, I ended up in a different career where I could have said, I didn't study this.
Yes.
But the one who's there learned it, so I was able to transfer that understanding into the workspace and say, if there is something that needs to be done, I can do it. And I, encourage my team members that, yes, you came in as X,
yes,
but you can do it. Any task that is handed to you, you can do it. So, yes, that belief in the can-do spirit is one of the key things that has
I really,
shaped me to
really
today.
love it because pivoting is one of the things that a lot of young people struggle with, especially those who've been to, I would say, university.
Okay.
Right.
You're going to go there. Okay.
Okay, let's go there.
Right.
Okay, because we know that there are some things that happen high school days.
Right.
And university days that end up making people afraid of the pivot.
Right.
Afraid of change.
Right.
How did you go from studying family and consumer sciences to logistics and breaking through there? How did you have what was the kind of mindset you had to be in to know that no matter what industry, whether it's in family and consumer sciences or it's here, it's the same principles that you need to succeed?
I think I will start by saying that one of the biggest problems we've had as, should I say Ghanaians or, Africans is that we assume that our makeup is what we studied. So we find our identity in what we study. And that is a bit problematic because if I shared this some time with some friends that, the mobile phone that comes to you doesn't come to you and learns how to make calls when you get it. It is programmed. It is, built in. So there are certain competencies that are already built in. And if a human being will build a device and put certain key functions in it, during manufacturing, I mean, it comes back to faith. Why won't God put certain skills in you before you come here? So that's the main problem, that we assume that, I became Michael when my university or my secondary teacher said I'm good at it. No, there are certain skills that I came here with. And those are what defines me. I mean, the things I study in school probably was to help me to speak to you in this Irish English that I'm speaking. Because I'm from Kumasi and, I'm supposed to be speaking my Chrome Kasa and all that, my Chi and all that. But then the ability to, express myself fluently and then being able to add and subtract and then being able to have a very critical thinking mindset. Those are what education should, help and do.
I love that you should.
Yeah, and then a few areas where there are certain specific skill set that you need to have to be able to, the rest is really, your abilities and your abilities to manage people, abilities to solve problems that comes in, and then being able to work together as a team. And that is what sometimes we lack in when we're looking at the education system. I will not say education is not good. I believe that your ability to know that, okay, you study this, but then there are certain skills that you already have that are in you. Because, I mean, I studied, as you said, the family and consumer science is the nice part. We fought for that, but then when I was in school, it was actually called home science. So just imagine you meet, your friends are telling you all the big things that they've studied, and you come and they say, I do home science. And in Ghana, home science and home economics are quite... So you're talking to the girl and you're telling that, baby, I'm studying homes. And guy, you're off the radar. Let me find myself a doctor. What are you talking about? That type of thing. So, all that made me feel like, I can't just be a home science guy now. I should have certain skills that are already in me. I should have some type of abilities. And these are some of the things that, especially coming back to what I'm doing now, were things that I grew up around. I grew up around, my dad used to run trotro, so I've seen drivers, dealing with drivers. I've seen how he procures some of the vehicles, because at the time you're not buying brand new vehicles for trotro. You're going to find an old car, send it to the mechanic shop, let them fix it up. So when you are there, I'm seeing what the mechanics are looking out for and the problems that they are fixing. And those were things that, I already knew them. But unfortunately, then that's what I'm saying, that sometimes we overly focus on what we are studying.
Exactly.
And not what we are experiencing or what we are observing, because I tell you, what I studied currently is not paying the bills. But what I, experienced, what I interacted with is what, we turn it into a business that we do now.
I'm going to be a little bit snoopy, okay?
Okay.
I love what you just said because, I was recently sharing on our social media, and if you're not following me on social media yet, at I am Zipporah Dankwa and at MoneyHub _official is exactly where you want to continue following these conversations, and you'll know when the video drops on YouTube, okay? So we are right here with Michael Osei Sarfo, the CEO of TSG Drive, and he's giving us the backstory leading up to the success of his current venture among many ventures that he's ventured into. We will come to that.
Right.
But I'm going to snoop a little bit and ask for right now we are talking about the entrepreneurial journey, and the reason is because a lot of young people need to hear the real truth about the hard things we've overcome to be where we are. People can admire you from far. It's probably because their parents had money or they have connections or because she speaks true English,
Absolutely.
but they forget they don't know the pains that we've been through to get to where we are. And that's the reason why this series is so dear to my heart. So my Snoopy question is, what were you going through at that time when you ventured to start TSG Drive?
I don't know if I can say this on air.
I want to hear, please.
I was in a very bad place, if I can put it that way, in terms of my career prospects, because I was in an institution where I felt that I was being underutilized.
Yeah.
I felt I had capacity, I had understanding about the area, but I was not given the chance. I remember clearly I could go to my boss, and I'm not one to just come to work and just sit down when it's free and I'm on my phone. I will come and ask, please, what are we doing today? We came Monday morning. Why are we sitting down, not doing much? So I remember going to my boss several times, one of many, and asking, what are we doing? Because here I am handling certain tasks which I feel I used to make the analogy that I felt I was a hammer being used to kill an ant, because I felt I could do so much, but then I was just being made to handle just something very little. And I remember severally those were just kicked out. And the funny thing is that TSG was actually suggested to the company.
What?
Because at the time I was in a role that I wasn't being given opportunity, so I felt. And I wanted to be paid more, so I always felt that, okay, maybe they're paying me this amount because of the value that I'm bringing in. So if I can bring in more value, I could, negotiate for a better incentive. And I remember clearly going to my madam at the time and telling her, this is what you are doing, but then I feel if we do this and we add this, it can help. Boy, you read home science, go and sit somewhere. What do you know? Yeah, it went nowhere. It went nowhere, so I started, okay, because I was doing it informal. People call me, I connected them with the vehicles, I saw people out, fix this transport issue, got the goods moved and all that. So I could understand that this is something that is working. So why don't we, you had the money, you had the systems in place, why don't you do it? And I could, if not manage it necessarily, I could supervise it. It was not taken, so... And it wouldn't go away. It was something I kept seeing the opportunity. So I just, I called a friend. I'm like, yo, you have this car. What do you think? Let's just do this.
What?
And that's how it started.
What?
So yes, if I mean, it's good because if I had, taken off by now, be, working
as supervisor
for my dream,
Can you imagine? And one thing that my husband always used to tease me, he says, you're an over-sabi person.
Yeah.
So you have to over-sabi in this world.
You have to.
You have to over-sabi. Yes, you're always talking to me. You're always coming to ask questions. You're always volunteering. Yes, because that is what is going to get you exactly where you need to get to. I love that you even said that you want to be paid more, and you didn't even come from a place of entitlement. You said, maybe it's the value that I'm bringing. Let me up the value. That is mind-blowing to me.
Thank you.
And that is such a wonderful mindset to have. And right now, you are running TSG.
Yeah.
TSG Drive.
Yeah.
And there are so many different things. You are training people.
Yeah.
You are, and I'm going to put you on the spot to share a little bit about that. But what are some of the characteristics and mindsets that even you've noticed that you've had to get better at in order for you to make room for the growth that you want in your organization?
Right. So, it is something I encourage a lot of people to do. So fast forward from that role, I stayed in corporate for some time. So I actually resigned from my role in 2024, my last company. But then I had, TSG was all over the place, from 2020. We were doing shows. So I always say shout out to Bolore for giving us opportunity back then. We were doing Ghana Miss Niger, we were doing the transportation for that. That was one of the biggest gigs we ever had. We did, work with a couple of embassies. We've worked with, institutions that we are doing star busing for and whatnot. And back to your question, is you want to start a business. And especially coming from someone who, I came from a very average home. My mom, is a petty trader, if I can put it that way. And then my dad, trotro driver, trotro owner type of thing. So there's no structure, because even though my dad's business at the time had a lot of potential, but it wasn't a business. So when he sort of wasn't, doing it anymore, it sort of fell through. So there's no structure. What I'm trying to say is that get a job. Or get trained, or go volunteer. Because under those circumstances, how you see that, the gentleman there is handling the laptop, he's handling the sound, so you're building on that. You are building on your communication skills because you'll be put in a position to present to your company. You go to finance, you want to take money, they say, get a purchase order, let it be signed, let it be up. Those are the structures that keep your business growing, and those are the things that help you to grow because, we've been in existence since 2020, as I said, but I moved in about a year ago. So how was the business running in my absence? And the way you can call it a business is when you don't have to be there and the business is running.
Way to keep going.
And you can learn that on the job. So when I was in corporate, it wasn't really always about the salary and all that. It was also an opportunity to learn. An opportunity to, ask questions. Saw how my MD, handled things. I saw how my HR. And then also an area to build free, how do you call them? Free professionals. So, for example, if, let's say, you need an admin person and you're not an administrator, there's an admin in your former company that is your friend, so you can call, hey, I'm trying to put this thing together, how do I do it? You need a law thing done. There's a lawyer in your firm or someone that you've met through your career that is doing it, and you just a phone call away. So in the early days that you're putting structures in place, these are the systems that you get. So when you work in a regular job or you volunteer in a business or in a company, you get to learn how structures are supposed to be in place, how that can be managed in your absence, and then you also build the network, to be able to, as it were, attend to the problems that you don't have the big money for. Because when you start a business in the early days, you cannot employ a professional that you are paying, let's say, 5,000, 10,000. The first group of people that are coming into your business are usually the fresh out of school, that you are paying them maybe, a reasonable range, and you're training, you're learning on the job. And talking about even paying them, you may need capital. So let's say your salary. So for a very long time, my salary was being used to pay, the team because you don't have enough revenues coming in. So I always say that if you really want to do business, go learn how business is done. And the best way to really learn it on the job is when you have the job. Thank you.
Oh man, this is okay. First of all, let me. I can't even break down everything that you just said, but just a quick summary is that a lot of people who are looking down on the jobs that they're doing because it's paying what they think is very low. You are forgetting the skills that you're learning, especially if you know where you are going and what you want to do. You are learning on the job. And the fact that you are volunteering into other departments. And the most important one that I heard right now is that your colleagues are also watching you. Do I see you as a potential future employee that I would hire for my own organization? If the answer is no, you will probably be there for 20 years complaining about the job that you have. So you have to show yourself yourself trustworthy. You have to show yourself like man approved, I guess is the word that I'm thinking of. And you have to also be willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sacrifice for your vision.
Yeah.
Before we start rounding up, at this stage, you are kind of, I don't want to say only dominating the market currently in driving, but you are continuously growing.
Right.
You are also shifting your focus to training so that we have better mechanics, better drivers.
Right.
Where did this initiative start and how are you kind of doing it?
Okay, so you need the competence of the team, you know, to match the vision, because I mean, these are guys that are, you know, most of the time the front line, you know, people, the drivers, or let's say we also, you know, TSG, we are a transport tech company. Our service is basically transportation, but we are exploring how we can use technology to make transport services accessible. So we provide passenger transport, we are doing driver service, we are doing, you know, mechanic service, and then, you know, these were not things that we just started on the go. So we started with a transport service, and we needed drivers. So we brought in the drivers. They go to the workplace. The employer or the client likes them. They realize that there's a need for that. So initially we recruit, we train, and then we do a background check and we place them on it. But then we realize, you know, using my own story when I was in the university, we have students who can't drive, but then they, you know, are not you know, earning any money. And currently national service pays, I think, about 700, 800-ish. But you come and drive for us a day, you're making it like 100 cities a day. So times the number of days that you're free, you can easily make, you know, 1,000 cities for drive for 10 days. That is someone who's working for a month and gets an 800 in national service. So we introduced that to a couple of students who come to us drive part-time with us. Some of our driving models is you can drive on demand. So you need a driver for a day, you need it for a week, or a full, you know, permanent driver who can provide that service. So once we started going onto that trajectory, we felt that instead of waiting for the clients to come to us before we start, you know, placing them, why don't we recruit and train? So the logic comes from, you know, what the military terms, they call it a reservist army. So people have been trained, but they're on the background waiting. So we train these guys, put them on standby. Once we get a request, we dispatch them out on our web platform. So what we created was to enable people, let's say you need a driver today, you can quickly go there, request and get them. And also solve the problem of, I don't know any big man who can help me get a job if you're a driver. So you can come to us, come get trained, you can be on the platform. When a job comes, we dispatch you out there. We also, once we, you know, same pivoting from just the initial business, our car started breaking down. So we felt, okay, we need to find mechanics. And there were mechanics that, you know, worked on our cars that were good. So we said, okay, why don't we put them on a platform where if Zipro car breaks down, around East Legon, the guy that is at East Legon that's fixing my car can quickly go and, you know, fix the car for the individual. So we did that, and what we noticed in the mechanic space was they were doing a lot of try and error. So we started giving them type of training, and we put them on a platform. So if you're a mechanic and you go to a car, you're having a difficulty, you can post it on the platform. And then any other, you know, experienced mechanic can see that and they can coach you through fixing the problem using just basic WhatsApp. So those were things that we identified, and we, you know, it's a no-brainer when you think about it. But then, you know, the ease and convenience that technology enables you to be able to handle these things. So we've been doing a couple of training this year. We've done some. We even provide, you know, road safety training for commercial drivers annually, especially toward December, for road safety, you know, because commercial drivers are taking most of the people around the country. We also do something called Mobile Mechanics Go Green, where we're trying to train the mechanics to properly dispose of the auto waste, because you go to the shops, they pour the oil at the, you know, just to keep the dust away, but then polluting the ground. The oil is, when it rains, it just washes it into the water bodies and it's polluting. So those are the type of things that we are doing besides the, you know, the commercial stuff we are doing.
This is turning into like a very full circle kind of organization where it's like given back into where it came from, which is such a beautiful thing. I'm just so blown away by the, you know, it's very easy for us to, should I say, get rid of people who are not good at working. instead of pairing them with other people who are better experienced and
Absolutely.
knowing that they are willing to be coached by more experienced people, that is very, very amazing.
Right, thank you. Like, I mean, very that's something we noticed because, I mean, if a number of times you hear people say, oh, Ghanaians are, the workers are this and they are that. A few times they are quite true, but then generally people just don't really know how things, they don't have the skill. So, we had some type of patience to train the people that we work with, and then try and bring them along. And some of the guys that started with us are doing amazing jobs now.
Man, bravo. And the last part of this giving back circle is what you shared with me. And I told you I didn't want to hear about it at all because I really want all my listeners to hear about this for the first time as well. You are launching a road accident support fund. Where a percentage of all the rental fees will be donated to support road accident patients at selected hospitals. And this year you're starting with 37 military hospitals. Tell me about that.
Okay, so I mean, we are in the transport space, and we thought about, some of our drivers had, one of our guys had an accident recently, and we noticed how there's still the need for some payments to be made, and you go to the accidents wards and you see the conditions that some of these guys go through, and we felt that we charge fees for the things that we're doing, and why don't we give something back? So we've decided that on every service charge that we are making, a percentage is going to be taken out and donated to help someone who's had an accident that needs some procedure that is supposed to be done. And we chose 37 because it's quite pretty close to us. And I have actually a story with 37 because in my early days when I was working at one of the hotels close by, I used to live there with a cousin.
Really?
So I had seen firsthand when accident victims are brought in and the conditions that they are in, and I said, let's just put this thing together. So hopefully when it becomes more operational, we will come back to you and you help us talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it. I know you're launching it on the 14th of February.
Yes,
this
Valentine's Day. So that's how, we're showing love.
That is amazing.
It's a way of showing love,
so instead of just eating chocolate on Chocolate Day, give a shout out to TSG Drive as they launch this amazing initiative where, can you imagine from years ago what you saw has been on your heart ever since, and when you got the opportunity to give back into it, that is exactly what you're doing, and we are grateful for you.
You're welcome.
And first of all, MoneyHubbers, let us give a big round of applause to Michael Osei Sarfo, the CEO of TSG Drive, who is here to share his journey, his entrepreneurial journey from his days in school all the way with his Akan father, who was very strict and turned him into a mechanic at a very young age. I'm stretching it a little bit. But just seeing the discipline and the entrepreneurial spirit of his parents, and now putting the systems around it that he doesn't even have to be there before he came onto it full-time last year. That just blows my mind, and it's really an example to us, and we are gleaning something from this, and we're going to continue this conversation again. And until next time, MoneyHubbers, remember, we are empowering, connecting, and building a community of Africa's next millionaires and billionaires. So connect with us on Instagram at I am Zipporah Dankwa, at MoneyHub_official. Leave your comments and leave your questions about Michael's journey, and hey, we might have more questions for him on our next live, and right here in the studio again. And that is all for today. MoneyHubbers, keep inspiring and keep on working, and until next time, bye-bye.